God's solar and lunar calendar. Genesis chapter 1, verse 14 through verse 19. The Holy Bible. The authorized 1611 King James Version. The feast days of Israel are world-changing days. Passover, Day of First Fruits, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. The Feast of 7 Weeks, and Day 50 is also a Day of First Fruits, or the Day of Pentecost. These are the spring feasts. These feasts also include the 7-year Shemitah cycle, the 50-year Jubilee cycle, the day Jesus died, the day the law was given, the day the new covenant began, the day the grain tithes are given to the high priest, the day all Israel will be saved, the day Jesus got married, and the day Jesus will return. There is no marrying or given in marriage in heaven. Matthew chapter 22, verse 30, Mark chapter 12, verse 25, Luke chapter 20, verse 35 and verse 36. The signs of Joseph's famine, the book of Ruth, Daniel's 70th week, and the 7-year tribulation, the days of Lot and Noah. Jesus returns in the 120th Jubilee year of 2030 AD to reclaim ownership of all of his property, planet Earth, every soul, Ezekiel chapter 18 verse 4, that lives on earth and all kingdoms, Revelation chapter 11 verse 15. Amen. God's solar and lunar calendar. Genesis chapter 1 verse 14 through verse 19. The Holy Bible. The authorized 1611 King James Version. The Feast of Trumpets, the Day of Atonement, and the Feast of Tabernacles are fall feasts. The days that these feasts are celebrated on are all world-changing days. Abib, or Nisan 1, to the day of Pentecost is 64 days, or 9 7-day weeks. The Lord added the 50th day of first fruits for 365 days. God said in Exodus chapter 35 verse 2 and Leviticus chapter 23 verse 3, 6 days you work and the 7th day you rest, a holy convocation. That is a perpetual timeline that cannot be changed. Passover is always day 14 and Pentecost is day 50. Everything God does is prophetic and spiritual according to the feast days of Israel and God's biblical timeline of 7 for days, seasons, and years and signs. Genesis chapter 1, verse 14 through verse 19 cannot be changed. God's solar and lunar calendar. Genesis chapter 1, verse 14 through verse 19. The Holy Bible. The authorized 1611 King James Version. Exodus chapter 12, verse 2. This month, Abib, Exodus chapter 13, verse 4. It shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Verse 3. In the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers. Verse 4. Unto his house according to the number of souls. Verse 5. Without a blemish, a male of the first year, a sheep or goat. Verse 6. And you shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. Verse 7. Take the blood of it and strike it on the 2 side posts and the upper doorpost of the house. Verse 8. They shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire, and eat with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. Verse 10. Nothing of it shall remain in the morning. Verse 11. Ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. God's solar and lunar calendar. Genesis chapter 1, verse 14 through verse 19. The Holy Bible. The authorized 1611 King James Version. Genesis chapter 2, verse 2 and 3. God put the sun and moon and stars in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. God created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, and on the seventh day God rested. There are 1,000 sevens in 7,000 years of solar time. Psalms chapter 90 verse 4 and 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 8. But, beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. Jesus dies at the end of 4,000 years, the end of the fourth day to God. John chapter 11 verse 9 and Matthew chapter 20 verse 1 through verse 16. There are 12 hours in a day and 12 hours in the night. There are 7 days in a week and 52 weeks in a year. There are 365 1/4 days in a year. A leap year occurs every 4 years. The death of Herod the Great. The Holy Bible. The Authorized 1611 King James Version. Herod the Great is king over all of Palestine, 37 BC to 4 BC. Matthew chapter 2 verse 1 through 23, Luke chapter 1 verse 5. Herod died in 4 BC. Herod Antipas, Tetrarch of Galilee and Perea, 4 BC to 39 AD. Mark chapter 6 verse 14 through verse 29. Luke chapter 3 verse 1. Chapter 13 verse 31 through verse 35. Chapter 23 verse 7 through verse 12. Archelaus, ethnarch of Judea, Samaria, and Idumea, 4 BC to 6 AD. Matthew chapter 2 verse 22. Herod Philip, tetrarch of Iturea, Trachonitis, and Galeritis, Arianitis, Batanea, 4 BC to 34 AD. Luke chapter 3 verse 1. Herod Agrippa the first ruled Palestine 37 AD to 44 AD and killed James. Acts chapter 12 verse 1 to verse 24. Herod Agrippa the second, tetrarch of Gallus and northern territory, judged Paul, 48 AD to 70 AD. Acts chapter 25 verse 13 and chapter 26 verse 32. Felix, Roman procurator of Judea, 52 AD to 60 AD. Acts chapter 24 verse 24. Succeeded by Porcius Festus, 59 AD to 62 AD. Acts chapter 25 verse 1 through verse 27 and Acts chapter 26 verse 32. Note, Antipas, Archelaus, and Philip, 3 sons of Herod the Great, all ruled beginning in 4 BC after Herod the Great died. This is historical data.